welcome Star Wars fans, Mando Mitchy back, and this is going to be my final installment here on rebuilding my Hoth Diorama. So, at least until I decide to change it again. So, I've got everything laid out. I'll show you a little bit about the figures that we're going to put in the diorama, as you saw earlier. So let's start with, I guess, some of the, you can see I've got, this is going to be my Jabba's Palace shelf, and I've got another idea too. But now, I'm going to use a vintage Kenner Tauntaun right now. This is an open belly, something I got in a lot that was, you know, he's okay. He's missing his reins and saddle. I might restore him later because I might. And I've got other Tauntauns, but I'm going to put him in there. I kind of like the way he lays. It looks kind of good in the ice cave. Went Power of the Force 2. Wampa. God, I like this guy. His arm comes off. He's got some decent features. I might change him up too. I've got a couple of him. I've looked at the other ones, but we're going to go with him right now. And I'm going to go with this Power of the Force 2 Luke, the dangling Luke. And you see I've got an attached metal piece with snow inlaid around his leg. So got magnetic base in the ice cave. So that is, that's very, very cool. I've looked at maybe the vintage collection, but he doesn't hang, his scarf doesn't pivot up. There's just some things that are not as good on that. Luke Skywalker in his pilot gear. Now, this is not Snowspeeder Luke. This is the new vintage collection Luke that I painted the boots and gloves, and to make it look, I couldn't get the posing or what I liked on the on anything else that I looked at. So the only thing he's missing, you know, on the Snowspeeder, they've got kind of that insulated thing around their neck. So let me see if I can make something like that, or rob something off of something else to make that look a little more accurate. I think this is a legacy Han. I like him other than his face. It looks like he's looking up. I know it's kind of weird on the sculpting, but I like that it's the accurate brown jacket, and I like a lot about him. You'll see that I do have some copper wires. This is a trick from Bert at No Steel Customs. He talked about this when you're in a diorama with like foam, and you don't necessarily need to use figure stands, and that works great for posability. Now, some of the new vintage collection with the very shallow peg holes, not as great. So we'll see. I'll probably use some blue tack, maybe some wire, some different methods on that. But so you'll notice there's a Han, there's a probe droid, and there's no Chewbacca. I mentioned I'm waiting on one. I'm going to use the new TBC Chewbacca. I like the look of him, everything that I've seen on the reviews. I'm still waiting on Hasbro Pulse to ship him. So he's maybe in the next week or two, but I'm not going to wait for him to go ahead and do this final assembly. So Chewbacca's coming. I'll do an update on that and show you. I had the Power of the Force 2 like Hoth Chewbacca where he had snow on him. Quite honestly, terrible figure. I put him up for sale with all my other Power of the Force 2 Hoth figures that I had initially assembled this with. So good for its day, not for today though. So to Hoth Rebels. Now, this was a challenge because you can see there were a few lines that made a Hoth Rebel like the outdoor gear soldier. And I've got a couple of these guys. There's not a lot of variation in them. So you'll see this is both the same guy here. So desperately in need of some Hoth Rebel soldier. So what I did is I considered taking the Echo Base soldiers in the brown vests and putting them outside. Wasn't really screen accurate, wasn't something. So what I did do is bought a couple of those sets and kind of customized them so that it is a little more screen accurate. It's not a dead ringer for these other guys necessarily, but I'm going to get great articulation. I did some variations on the different, there's basically two of each of the same guys. So with helmets, scarves, that kind of stuff. So I do have 8 of those to go with the other Rebel soldiers. So I'm excited about that. Now, Snow Troopers. So you can see there's the Troop Builder pack. I just got one of those. Let's talk about the old school stuff. I really like, one of the only figures I still really like, the Power of the Force 2 version of. I like the Power of the Force Snow Trooper. He's not really great articulation wise. Now he's really 5 POA because his head doesn't move, but he he pivots in that torso area, but he's not really roided out. He's kind of buff looking. He does look different than the new TVC, but I just like a lot of about this. So you can see I've got quite a few of these, 9 of them to be exact, and I've got one of the E-Web gunners up here, so I guess that would be 10 of that Power of the Force 2 line. I'm going to use them. I'm going to stack them inside the AT-AT and utilize them in the scene. So I'm excited about that. Otherwise, here we've got the other line that came out after that. This was Legacy and Saga, and these guys, you'll see there's a couple different ones. They kind of look the same. This one had that kind of that blast effect on his head, but his leg isn't as, like, he's not like he's moving. This one already has kind of that pose to where he's heading into battle and kind of leaning forward. So I have a few of both of those. So I have 6 of those guys total. I want to keep them in the scene as well. So 10 of those, 6 of these, and now I love this figure. 2, 4, 6, 8, and then I've got down there 1 on card in my display. So the Snow Trooper is probably my favorite trooper ever. I've started to collect them on the vintage Kenner line. I think I've got 5 of them, and I'm not even really trying. I guess I am kind of trying. But I love the Snow Trooper, always have, and I love this new action figure. I haven't bought everything this year, and I'll do a review of my best figures of the year that I've bought. And right now, this guy's heading at the top of the list. I love everything about this action figure. So I pre-ordered quite a few of them to start, then went with the Army Builder pack, and then when this came out May the 4th and I couldn't get it, I lost my mind for a minute, and then it came back up. So I got 2 of these Snow Trooper Commanders. Haven't opened those guys yet, but I've got an idea of setting them up in the scene as well. So got our different blasters, so we'll outfit these guys. I've got a couple of the speeder bikes with the Hoth Biker Scouts, so I really wanted that. One came with the Legacy AT-AT. I was able to pick up another one, get a couple of Biker Scouts. I got an AT-ST driver. I've got 2 of these General Veers. I've got one up in the cockpit. I'm going to leave him there. I like kind of how he's stationed behind the pilots, but I think I'm going to put one in the back too. Here, that's the bad thing about pilots, you can't see them. So I'm going to position him. I want him kind of looking over the battle with the commanders and that. Would love a TVC re-release of General Veers, an updated version. I love this guy, but I would love to have another more definitive, highly articulated version of him. Such a great character, and I would definitely buy a few of them. So I'll outfit with our AT-AT pilots. I'd like to see this come out in the Vintage Collection 2 to be released. That would be awesome. I know that made some lists on this recently on Last Figure Standing. And then I was at a flea market type place and found one of these Snow Troopers that if I remember right, looking at, they came with helmets, and this guy was stripped down and terrible, dirty, and everything else. But I thought I could make him work. I could put him in the AT-AT somehow, like getting ready to go to battle, and utilize him as well. So looking at that, I've got exactly kind of what I was hoping to fill in this diorama with. Snow Troopers, General Veers, pilots, commanders, Hoth Rebel soldiers. Would like an actual Hoth Rebel soldier. I would convert these guys back to Echo Base and use them in my Echo Base scene if we could get this released, especially an Army Builder pack. That'd be awesome. And then these guys. So I think that's everything. And so let me get started. It's going to take a little while, but I want to get everything outfitted and set up, and we'll take a look when we've got the final display ready. Alrighty then, we got things finished up, at least for now. So I'm going to pan through and then go back and go in detail and explain a little bit about my figure placement and choices. So just to review, this is a Battle of Hoth diorama that I built last winter originally, and just have redone it. So didn't like the backdrop. Like I said, I built a new shelf I'm getting ready to put four more dioramas like on these shelves, and then some storage on the very bottom. So with the changing of the footprint, it didn't really fit. So I was, I guess, recreating or upfitting that. So let's go through and we'll start down here. So the Hoth Rebel base. So we've got the shield generator and then the Hoth Rebel troopers. Like I said earlier, I hope TVC does an army builder pack of these guys. These guys look pretty good though. I'm pretty happy. I've got one Power of the Force 2 guy in the turret, and then one guy here taking the eternal nap. He's done for. So we've got your basic Hoth Rebel base elements in there. So the turret, some cannons, the soldiers. I did one little supply case. The cabling that you see in the movie, the trench that you see in the movie, and that's that. So I wanted to look, you know, as you look at this, I wanted it to be an overwhelming mismatch, because that's what it was. Anytime the rebels were fighting the Empire, they were always the underdog. So I wanted that. So I feel like in this 7-foot diorama, I gave like 1.5 feet to the rebels, and I think that's pretty accurate. So pretty cool stuff there. You can see I've got a Power of the Force 2 snow speeder that's coming in, suspended from the ceiling, and that's coming through. And you'll see I've got some explosions here, basically from either the E-Web or the ATST or the ATT as they're AT-AT as they're firing on, trying to destroy these guys who are just trying to help get their comrades off the ice planet to the next base. So that's the Rebel side. Let's go ahead and look at the Imperial side. You'll see I've got some of the new TVC snowtroopers in here scattered about. I did keep some of the Power Force 2. You'll see them over there in the side. The Saga ones we've got there. The ATST's got a pilot or ATST driver in there. But those guys are tucked back in through there. So we've got a couple of the E-Web gunners here, Power Force 2 line, and then some more TVC troopers. I just love these guys. Such a nice action figure, posable. Love the rifle that a few of them in that army builder pack came with. Very, very cool. So up top, you can see we've got in the pilot seat the ATST drivers and General Veers commanding. So very cool there. Love this big AT-AT. I know there's rumors that with the Mando Mitchy movie, maybe we'd see another AT-AT. I'll tell you right now, I'd be a sucker and buy another one. That is a cool part on that trailer when Din Djarin and Grogu lay waste to that thing. So looking forward to see what comes of that. A couple of snow speeders, as far as speeder bikes. A couple of Hoth biker scouts. Really like those guys. Glad that I picked those up. Some more TVC snow troopers, and then you'll see the dude. You'll see the holster on the side, the snowtrooper commander. So I wanted to get 2 of those. So I just thought, you know, in this scene, and you can see, you know, just this imposing force that the Rebel Army is looking at, and wanted a commander who's on the ground and basically giving orders. You can see that his boots are cleaner. He's got the different shoulder pads, different insignia there, and then the holster, much like what you would have saw in Nazi Germany. So a lot of parallels between the Empire and you know, history, if you study military history. So very, very cool. So yeah, we've got one there. You'll see our man, the Dak, who said, I think I could take on the whole Empire by myself. And he's dead. He's crushed in the snow speeder. Luke is going up, getting ready to blow this thing up. So that's a custom X-Wing Luke, made to look like a snowspeeder Luke. So very, very cool. You can see we've got the Legacy AT-AT, just trying to take advantage of the features on that. I've got some of the guys coming down and that mechanism. That's a very cool thing. And then I packed this thing. I've got another Snow Trooper Commander up here surveying the battle, talking to another Snow Trooper, and then I packed that with another General Veers, and then the Power of the Force 2 troopers. I think those guys look very menacing and very, very cool in there. So I'm liking how that looked. So there's the battle. We'll go over to the probe droid scene. You can see I've got a Han Solo who desperately needs updated. Weird face, but he's at least he's code accurate. And that we've got the new Disney probe droid. He looks really, really good. And right here, this is going to be where the new TVC Chewbacca goes. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks, once Hasbro gets that to me. And then we've got the ice cave. Man, it wasn't like, I feel like 2 days after I finished resculpting this and installing it, I found a 3D file for a 3D printed ice cave that I'm kind of in love with. So don't be surprised if you see an update where I go back to work, tear on this again, and change the ice cave. But vintage Kenner open belly tauntaun. We can see Luke's lightsaber in the snowdrift, movie accurate. Power of the Force 2 Luke up there, Power of the Force 2 Wampa. So one of the things I love about this is I in the works in this, if you didn't see this in my first video, I inlaid a pretty nice size magnet in this foam, and Luke can come off. And so if I want to change the scene and have him lightsabered up, Wampa's arm cut off, I always like the opportunity to maybe change a scene from time to time if I want to. So, yep, pretty cool stuff there. Pretty happy with that element of this for sure. Again, the Disney probe droid, so happy that was released. Love that hanging from the ceiling. And I'll pan back here a little bit as I can. Again, this is about 7 feet long, 2 feet deep, and I'd say it's at least, I think that big AT-AT is almost 20 inches tall. So you can figure this is at least 2 feet, almost, it gets pretty close to the ceiling there. So really cool scene. Probably my favorite scene in all Star Wars. And it's hard to pick one, but I love the Battle of Hoth. So I wanted to show you a little bit on these elements too. When I made the explosions and wired this in, these are flickering LED lights to make it look just like that explosion's happening. And this one I went another direction. It's not really flickering, it's just lit up, but you can see those are fiber optic strands. I saw a guy do an explosion with that in a diorama that he built, and I thought, man, I want to try that. So I got that, and on camera it kind of washes out. I'm gonna turn the lights out and show that too, though, and just to see if we can get a little better vantage point. But that's really a neat element to this. Just kind of a menacing, and I know the battle didn't happen at night, so it's not really, but you can see, yeah, that lit up. So if you really want some cool effects when you're diorama building, don't forget about the fiber optic strands. I found those on Amazon, and yeah, it's kind of a really cool thing. If I do another one, I might document that in depth, how I actually made that piece for this diorama. So, what's next? Next on the list, Jabba's Palace. So, I'm going to have Jabba's Palace, and you can see I've got a nice looking Rancor in the box there. I've got a skiff. I've got plans on a big barge. I don't have a barge, but I'll be talking more about that as we get closer to doing a reveal on that part. But Jabba's Palace, and then I'm thinking the Mos Eisley Cantina on this other side. I don't want a whole 7-foot shelf of just Jabba's Palace. I think I could make this work. And then down here, second from the bottom shelf. The bottom shelf is so hard to see. I don't want to, I'm just going to use that for storage. Some nice box art and some other things that I have, some storage of some bigger ships and whatnot. But this shelf here, I plan on doing indoor. So half of this I think is going to be indoor, and the other is going to be Attack of the Clones Battle of Geonosis with the HasLab gunship that I backed that day one. I'm excited about getting that. It won't fit on this shelf, take up the whole scene, but I'm going to do the Battle of Geonosis, the arena diorama. So I'm excited about that. So those are the next two down here, and then that will be Jabba's Palace and Mos Eisley Cantina. I'm going to have, you can see I've got the Carbon Freeze Chamber, got some more shelf room here, and I'm going to actually probably do Echo Base. So Luke back to tank, some of those cool scenes and all that. And I'm excited on the Jabba's Palace. I'm actually going to make, and I'll document, I'm going to make the door where and I'll have a ledge here where C-3PO and R2 are standing there at the very beginning of Return of the Jedi. So I'm pretty excited about that. You see already I 3D printed the grate system. Got that painted. That looks super cool already. So I'm excited about getting all this together. And I've spent a lot of money on Jabba's court denizens and goons and all that too. So wrapping up here, 57 is the magic number. 57 action figures in this diorama. So I thought it might be around there. I didn't know. This guy, the Death Star, if you haven't watched that video, check that out. I've got 80 in the twin Death Stars. So 80 of those, but pretty cool. So time, creativity, money. I mean, you figure 80 action figures, even some of these on the secondary market and that. It takes quite the investment to put this stuff together, but I absolutely love it. So hope you enjoyed this. Remember, if you haven't subscribed, subscriptions help the channel, likes help the channel, views help the channel. Subscribe, like the video, fire up those notifications. That way when I am doing something, creating a diorama, you'll be notified that and you can check that out. I like modern Star Wars diorama building. I'm also collecting vintage Kenner, so if that's your thing, check out my playlist on vintage Kenner. I'm working toward collecting a lot of that. I'm not going to get everything. I'm not going to go crazy, but I am collecting most of what the really, really cool stuff that I enjoyed as a kid as well. So, all right, Battle of Hoth. Thanks for watching. God bless. This is Mando Mitchy. We'll see you soon. I'm signing off.